even though I've been only doing it for about 1 year now, I've gone through a complete 360 like improvement of myself in terms of my physical condition and my mental health as well.
This place is just a bit of a sanctuary, I think. When I first started coming, I was bringing my problems with me, and they said, actually, you know, the more you can do to leave your problems at the door and just focus on being here and what you're doing, the more productive your climbing is. So I think as soon as you walk through that door now, I leave everything behind. It's a great group of people down there. You know, you don't feel judged at all. They're all very helpful if you need them to be. And it is just that being here, being in the moment. Obviously the physical activity helps you as well. But it is, you know, everyone sees each climb as a problem. So you're breaking those problems down into very small sections and you essentially focus on nothing else.
Now when I come here, like every week, it's like that sort of time where I get to forget everything else, like all the troubles and stuff. And it's like I just focus on these routes and my progression in climbing. I was kind of nervous that people would judge me or something, like for not being very good, but everyone here is like super welcoming. Like any kind of skill range, everyone cheers you on if they're watching you climb and things, and they'll give you pointers and tips. It's definitely a lot different to what I thought it would be.
Best I can describe it is it's like a bug. It's a bug that people get. Very similar to say how people describe runner's high, in that it's one of those things that once you've done once, you'll find yourself inexplicably coming back to do it again. There's not really a way to explain it. It's just sort of a good feeling you have of saying, I can look at this problem and I can recognize, and I'm actually putting the skills I've learned to good use in my sport. So I feel like if anybody's going to get into a sport, I would recommend climbing.
It's just like the best community. It's the most welcoming that I've ever been involved in. Like skateboarding and stuff can be a little bit more territorial, and like surfing definitely, but climbing is the opposite. Like I know people from all over the country through climbing now. You get a sense of accomplishment, doing something that you've worked really hard to try and do, that you originally thought was like impossible. Like you learn that impossible doesn't really exist if you put in enough time and effort. And then just getting to know people through climbing, like all of my friends are climbers now, pretty much. And if they're not, I don't often get much time to hang out with them.
It's one of the friendliest communities I've ever come across. Regardless of where I go, if I come here, if I'm by myself, there's always somebody that I can approach and chat to, or the other way around. So like I'm struggling with the climbing problem, and sometimes people just come up and say, oh, if you try putting your foot here, or when you get to this section doing that, that might help you with your climb. And it's just really friendly, like from staff to climbers here, and it's just a really enjoyable place to come, because I know there's not going to be any like judgment or anything.
For me, climbing is that opportunity not only to kind of have the physical sort of exercise to kind of like help manage the stress, it's also about clearing the noise and the chatter in my head. So as you can imagine, I'm kind of like constantly thinking about what all these other things I've got to do. But when I'm climbing, all I can really think about is where I'm going to put my hands and feet next, and how I'm going to get to the top of the wall. So yeah, for me, it's just like medicine. It just soothes my mind and calms my mind right down, so I'm not racing. Just I think for anyone who's thinking about doing it and is anyway hesitant, it's a great place to start, and don't be afraid to start, because the kind of rewards so outweigh those kind of initial nerves.